Sad day in Alabama football, especially for somebody like me. It's Coach P, a.k.a. Goat Door, the unofficial assistant coaches, and my man Isaiah Bun. 007 has left, officially committed to Texas. Transfer portal done stung us super hard. You probably can't tell by his stat line, but this is one of the best wide receivers in the nation. It ain't this man's fault he got caught up in a rugby offense last year at Alabama. After going through a season running that many routes and never being seen unless you wide open on a play that Coach P could throw it to, man, I get it, man. It's hard feeling like one of the best and ain't got nothing to show for it when everybody else just trying to live this storybook Alabama moment. Everybody caught up on one player, but there's a lot of brothers affected by this situation, man. We know this new coach coming in finna change this whole offensive look. We talking about a pro-style head coach bringing in his own pro-style OC. Together, they run an air raid offense. Come on, Bun. What were you thinking? They just had 2,000-yard receivers, one of them over 1,600 yards. Washington quarterback only had 8 yards rushing the whole year. And that's without a run game like ours to open up his pass game. That's without weapons like we have at Alabama. Debo was only in Washington 2 years. Most of his weapons came out the transfer portal. Imagine Coach KD with the weapons we have at Alabama. Like I said, Sark plus our brand would have been something. But to go to Sark over there at Texas, when we got the guy that been on his head for the last few years over here, why would you leave? And that guy coming to benefit you. This boy mind been made up. His agent over there just want all the attention. I bet he been in Bun all year. Texas, Texas, Texas. I wonder how much you got out the deal. Let me remind y'all of how it used to be. This Coach P, a.k.a. Goat Doe, we see what they doing and say what they want. The unofficial voice of Alabama football. Everything I say makes sense. Y'all remember how it used to be? When you had to cover up the money, hide the detail, hide the facts, cover up the money trail. I remember when Scam Newton got caught up and he laughed in my face. I said, as much as I hate this little sucker playing for Auburn, this boy right here cold-blooded. Look at his reaction when ESPN played him the tape of the guy who snitched on him on his recruitment to Auburn.
How much was it?
Anywhere between 100 and 180,000.
Man, I really can't even, talk about it due to, like they say, it's an ongoing investigation.
Ooh, Cam, you dirty dog. You know you're guilty. You ain't right, Cam. You know you ain't right. That was back during a time where you would not want any violations attached to your name, but in a time where most players would have folded under pressure, Scam Newton looked into that camera and gave the most cockiest smile I ever seen in my life. Man, forget you as a player at Auburn, but at that moment right there, I said, hey, I can't do nothing but respect that. But these days, you don't even have to hide it. All you got to do is go to the internet. You can turn on Instagram, turn on Twitter, and bow! Ain't no mystery in this history. But like I said, I can't hate, though. We got Burden the same way. He came over from Georgia a year after he kicked our butt. Personally, won a championship with Georgia, then came over here and got with us, and we should have won one with him. Hey, and even though I admit we got Burden the same way, if anybody else tried to use that against you in an argument that, hey, why you mad Bun left if Burden came to y'all the same way, hit him with this.
Oh, that was different.
We got the reigning coach of the year, man. You running over there to Sark, who wouldn't even be in discussion if it wasn't for this school, if it wasn't for Saban. I'm cool with Sark back over here enjoying the fruits of our brand, but to go over there to Texas to get with him, come on, Bun, what was you thinking? We got the coach that's been kicking Sark ass and you go to Sark? Your best dream came true and you going to Sark. I know Sark a more familiar name, especially being affiliated with the Bama brand, but I think you fumbled the ball on this one, Bun. Sark has been at Texas longer than the boy has been at Washington. Already recruiting, yet in 2 years, the boy that had his number both times. Debo. All right, let's just forget the fact that Debo done kicked Sark ass the last 2 years. Let's just look at the stats. My boy Bun said he wanted to go to a program with an offensive genius. He said Sark is one of the best offensive minds in college football. Let me show you another one of the best, if not the best. If you grading Sark as one of the best. Well, matter of fact, let's look at Sark numbers first. This is the program you want to go to. This is the offensive genius you brag on. I like Sark now, don't get me wrong. But to leave where you started, I just want to make sure it makes sense. Make sure the math is mathing. This is Texas Longhorn stats this year. And this ain't even about you no more, my boy. This to let the world know what we got going down here at Alabama. We talking offensive minds. That, my man, Sark is. But if you look at the receiving stats, which should float your boat, Sark hadn't had but 1,000-yard receiver at Texas. And that was this year with Worthy. Worthy been his top receiver the last 3 years, and only this year he topped 1,000. Now look at these offensive stats. Not only has this man slapped Sark around the last couple years, along with Dan Lanning as well, 5-0 against the both of them, along with beating them down, look at the stats. You say you wanted to play for an offensive genius. Did the people in your corner not do their homework? Not one, but 2,000-yard receivers. One of them over 1,600 yards. That could have been you. Hopefully, it's Ryan Williams. The man only been there 2 years. The man been having to take advantage of the transfer portal. Imagine what this man can do with the talent we have access to, especially with the GOAT still on the yard. But hold up, like I said, Sark ain't had but 1,000-yard receiver in 3 years. One, and that was this year. Same player 3 years, this final year, he eclipsed the 1,000-yard mark. Let's make sure Debo didn't look up this year. Let's look at his first year at Washington. Bow! Now, I don't know who Tungaloa or Papa Pop is, but I guarantee if you put one of our Alabama running backs right there, we get 1,000 yards on the first year. But forget the running back. This is all about the receiving room. And again, you will see 2,000-yard receivers. And again, I say 2 1,000-yard receivers on his very first year. Insert Bama weapons and let's see what we can do. All incoming freshmen, incoming receivers know what we got going on at Alabama. Now, this is why Bun is unhappy. And to be honest, this right up Tommy Rees alley. These stats are almost identical twins to what he had going on at Notre Dame. He's never had a 1,000-yard receiver, though this year could have been his breakout year because we did have a lot of receivers running wide open. We just couldn't seem to find them. Bun only had 668 yards, knowing this a 1,000-yard receiver. Not only that, he led the team with 48 catches. Only 48 catches. Washington had 2 receivers with over 70 catches. Debo first year in town. This year at Washington, one of the receivers had 69 catches. In reference to you effed up leaving here, the other receiver had 92. Speaking of 92, shout out to David Palmer and Gene Stallings. Roll Tide, baby. Roll Tide. Sark got 2 guys with 55 catches or better this year. We can't get one guy with 50 catches? That's rugby. Our best receiver getting 48 catches ain't got nothing to do with the OC. But now I got an offensive mind coming in here to benefit players like yourself. So I think you fumbled this ball. I ain't gonna hate on you and bash you, though they coming for you. Some people say this is the reason you left. I do have the video, but I couldn't put up the caption. But they said this is Jalen Milroe and Isaiah Bun. And I'm guessing this is one of the reasons you end up leaving.
Let's go!
One of my favorite players was at the UA in your same situation in 2016. So I understand you're hurt. But I wish you would have gave your university a chance to finish where we started. We know the real reason and we gonna talk about that in the Patreon. Patreon.com/Coach John Doe. Yeah, you know you're gonna have to meet us in the Patreon for the real talk because people take truth as hate out here. So make sure you meet us in the Patreon. Now I had the receipts for everything I've been saying. And I ain't bought nothing. But I ain't gonna bash my boy Bun. I definitely see us feeding our receivers next year. And we definitely would have put you where you needed to be as far as those stats, as far as those awards. Hate to see you go, but glad you came and stayed for a while. Appreciate 4th and 31. Appreciate all the memories. Appreciate the hard work you put in for us while you were here, man, for real. Never forget, Coach KD just beat the coach you was bragging on with transfer players. Imagine what he finna do in this Crimson era. Wish you could have been part of this new run. But one player don't stop no show. One thing about that Tide, we go roll regardless. Shout out to the GOAT. He's still in the building. He might not pull up to your living room, but you can still come to the 205 to see him. It's Coach P, a.k.a. Goat Doe, of the Unofficial Assistants, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye!